How's it going, everybody? Travis with Casa de Stogies Cigar Review here at the Iron Horse Cigar Lounge in Aiken, South Carolina with John and Crystal. Our giveaway, we're having a special giveaway from Casa de Stogies Cigar Review, which is just exclusively for you guys and for the Iron Horse Cigar Lounge. It does require in-store purchase. More details will come about that. We're going to post it on social media. John and Crystal will explain more of that later on as the details come. So I'm not sure when you guys want to start it, but it will be available exclusively in the store only. This giveaway is in store only here at the Iron Horse.
So we're going to start it for the rest of the month of June, and any Esteban cigar purchase, including the Bronze Cross, will get a raffle ticket go towards the giveaway. We also have our house blend that Esteban does for us. We have several different ones, and what we've done is we actually named them after some of our top customers that have been here supporting us throughout the year. So even those will be included in on those purchases.
Great. So check out John and Crystal at the Iron Horse Cigar Lounge, Aiken, South Carolina. This giveaway from Casa de Stogies Cigar Review is exclusively in store in Aiken, South Carolina at the Iron Horse Cigar Lounge. Come by and see John and Crystal, and they'll tell you more about it and enter for a chance to win some great stuff. Thank you.
You take the midnight subway train, you call another shots, you strip a lightning, you're in love.
Hello everyone, welcome to Casa de Stogies Cigar Review. I'm your host Travis Jordan. Today I'm in Aiken, South Carolina at the Iron Horse Cigar Lounge with John and Crystal Jones, owners of the Iron Horse in Aiken. John and Crystal, how are we doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing good. It's been about a year, a little over a year since I've shot my review. My co-host Mike's not with us today. He had something else to do. So we've been wanting to get back into it, but we've just been so busy, pandemic and all, scamdemic. But we've been so busy. We had just a very busy year last year, even considering the pandemic. So schedule changes and things like that, it made it difficult for us to really do anything. So, but here we are in Aiken. We're starting again. And Crystal, you want to tell us about what we're smoking?
Well, we'll forgive Mike this time for not being here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Esteban Carreras Bronze Cross cigar. This cigar is wrapped in an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper with a Nicaraguan binder and mixed Nicaraguan filler. There's a little history about this cigar. It's really interesting. They started off with the Black Cross. The Black Cross was named after the mark that was put on the doors of the people who supported Esteban Carreras, who, as an organizer, he pushed back against the tobacco field takeovers during the Cuban Revolution. And so this is kind of a follow-up of that one. The Black Cross was the first one, and this one is a Sumatran Puro, and it has notes of oak and spice to it, and you can really taste the spice in this cigar. It's got a nice spicy flavor to it for Sumatra.
Well, lots of years of public service between the two of you, and then you see an opportunity to open a cigar lounge in Aiken, South Carolina, which there hasn't been one for a while. Not a dedicated cigar shop and lounge. There are places that sell cigars, but Marcella had one for a while, and she folded it up and closed it down. She still has 2 stores in Augusta, but you guys saw an opportunity here and a need for it, and decided to take a plunge and open one up. Now you guys were members at our shop,
Yes.
for years, and still are. So, but with you working down here at the college, everything just kind of lined up. You want to tell us about that? How it came to be?
Yeah, I mean, been working down here in the Aiken area. We still live up towards your shop here, Mike. About an hour drive for us, and been down here almost 4 years working at the college. And a couple years ago, just realized that there really wasn't anything as far as cigar lounges. like I said, there's a couple places that sell cigars, but here in the Aiken area,
Not a cigar
a
lounge.
lounge, somewhere we can go in. And we've loved the Maduro Room. We've loved coming there for years. We still do.
This was absolutely needed.
It was, absolutely. And, you know, we signed the lease to end of February 2020. Come in, this place was white walls and concrete floors. So we started the renovations. We had a vision of what we wanted. We kind of wanted to mimic that atmosphere that we were used to. And then, as you said, this pandemic hit. But just like you guys being busy, it was amazing how busy we were, even in the midst of all that.
People are not going to give up alcohol or
Oh,
tobacco,
no.
especially during something like that, which is good in our industry.
Right.
Because, you know, I mean, we were able to still make a good living while all of that was going on. People were out of work.
We saw some hiccups along the way, you know, with some things being shut down. I know some of the factories either shut down or went to 50% production. So we've seen some delays in some shipping early on.
Yeah, we did.
We're starting to see more of it now because, you know, they're trying to get
keep
caught back up.
We're trying to keep up.
Yeah, we were open for business and selling lots of product, and now we're trying to.
But they had a hurricane that wiped
Mhm.
across Nicaragua last year, and across, you know, Dominican Republic, Central
Right.
America. That really
That just piled on top of it.
you know, that really devastated a lot of crop and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But I think that they've done a pretty good job of trying to keep up.
Yes, they have, and our reps have been really good at communicating with us about what's on back order, and our customers have been very forgiving too. You know, they're looking for a certain thing. It's currently out of stock because of a back order, but they'll pick up something else, and you know they'll still come back when we do get it in and support it. But you know, our grand opening day was April the 10th of 2020. So again, right smack dab in the middle of things being shut down. We
Don't
had
stop us, does it?
Well, and we focused it because, you know, down in this area, we have the Masters just right across the river in Augusta. So we kind of focused everything around the opening of the
And
Masters.
they put to that.
Well, yeah, they canceled it in April, but then they had it in November.
Now, how did that work out for you guys that coming around in November, but there was no spectators, right?
No, there was no spectators, but there's still a lot of people that came to the area, especially the teams coming in and their support personnel. So we did a delayed grand opening in November. We actually had a really good turnout. Did really well. And then this April was our 1-year anniversary. Again, kind of focusing around being around the Masters every year. And they had what we would consider an abbreviated Masters. So they limited how many people they could have, but we still did really well for our anniversary party. So, you know, a lot of businesses down in this area really depend on that event. And there's a few other events like the steeplechase and things that they have down here that the businesses actually rely on those for.
Brings a ton of revenue.
It
to that
does.
area. And the whole CSRA area is a general. is a
Right.
general thing.
I mean, you got businesses that look at Black Friday, and the whole purpose of it being Black Friday is because they usually make a lot of revenue to get them out of the red and into the black for the year. Well, here it's the Masters, yeah. So as a business, as a new business, we've not seen a true Masters event. So we're excited to see what next year holds when it comes around. And again, that'll be our 2-year anniversary. And we hope to see a big turnout for that as well.
I think it'll be a great thing, you know. I mean, things are opening back up, you know, states are finally, you know, putting a kibosh on this whole mask thing, and, you know, social distancing is really not it's a thing in the past. You know, I said it early on when it first started, we did a cigar review. I was like, man, this thing will be over with in 2 weeks. I was slightly off. But I
About
knew it was,
14 months.
I mean, I knew it was a bunch of baloney anyways, but.
Well, and you know, and I've worked in healthcare for years, and we had this conversation early on about how what they were saying wasn't really aligning with what the true
What the
science.
facts are.
Right.
And, you know, we can go farther into it. I mean, you know, I don't usually get into politics and things like that, but, you know, it did, you know, things that affect people, but, you know, anything that the government tries to sell you,
Right.
you know,
Well, I think
don't buy it.
Well, as Ronald Reagan said, the most dangerous words is, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help."
That's right.
So,
But, you know, again, I mean, you know, we know that, you know, with the virus that was put out, you know, it did affect people and change their lives. It did kill some people and they lost their lives, and we all know how we feel about that. It's a terrible thing, you know, but and hopefully, you know, justice will be served on all of that.
Right.
Now, how did you guys come into planning opening a shop? How did those discussions start? Like, hey, we're in Aiken, there's not a shop here. No,
Well,
maybe there's an opportunity. How did that come about?
it was really just looking at the area, seeing what some of the policies and regulations are. See, what a lot of people don't realize is we are 1,000 feet outside of Aiken city limits, and that's by design. Because Aiken City has strict smoking ordinances about smoking indoors, even for tobacco shops, and that's why some of the ones haven't been successful in the downtown area. So we deliberately stayed right outside of the city limits, so that way we could have the lounge, you could smoke indoors, but also close enough to where we are close to the high traffic areas. I mean, we have a Sam's Club right across the road, so we get a good bit of traffic coming through here. But as we were looking at it, I did talk to Mike quite a bit in the beginning, kind of got some pointers and got some direction. We had been talking to a lot of the reps over the past couple of years that have been coming to the different shows and just kind of seeing what the cigar industry was all about. And, of course, both of us, we got extensive education, so we do a lot of research. So just started really digging into it to see what it would take. And, we had a means at the time to get it going, so we took the opportunity.
Right. Well, I think you did a good thing here, and this is my old stomping ground. I grew up just feet away from Randall, so this is a great thing for me. Whenever I come home,
Mm-hmm.
I have another home at
Right.
the cigar shop because of you guys. And when you guys were in the early stages of doing this, I didn't get overly excited about it just because, in case it didn't pan out for whatever reason.
We try not to too, just in
But
case.
I was like, man, that's gonna be cool. When I go to the bank, 'cause my bank is here.
Mhm.
They don't have a branch in Lexington.
Right.
But when I go to the bank, I can swing in and have a smoke, and I haven't been able to do that, so I always got something going on. But that's my mindset. Man, I'm gonna go to the bank, go to the shop, and I'm smoking.
And you'd be surprised, there's a lot of people that come from the Lexington area that knew us from up there, but also they do business down this way.
Work down this way.
And work down this way, so.
And
there's-
vice versa.
Right. And there's another cigar lounge over in the Columbia area that the owner, actually, his day job is working with Orkin. And this is his territory. So when he's down this way, he always stops in and has some cigars and we set.
Supports your shop.
He does, and when we're up in that area, we support
Likewise,
him.
you told me that you do the same thing.
Right, and but the good thing is we're able to sit there and kind of bounce ideas back and forth. He's taken some things that we've done and incorporated it in his shop. We've talked to him about some things that he's doing. We've incorporated some here. So matter of fact, there's a new liquor store next to the Madura room, and I talked to that lady because we still got some empty spaces down here. And we're like, hey, that would be a great addition next door. Is having a
A
liquor
few
outlet.
customers that would be very thankful for
Yeah,
that.
and so I was talking to her, and she was really amazed at how close knit the cigar industry is. And how we work together and we talk and we share ideas. She's like,
Right.
the liquor industry is not like that.
It's more
They're too
competitive.
Very
competitive,
competitive.
yeah.
And so, but even when we travel a lot for work, and everywhere we go, we look for cigar lounges. Now we've been to some of the bigger, like the Corona Cigar Company and the Monte Casa de Monte Cristos and places like that that are larger places. But we also find the little mom and pop shops, kind of like ours, and we go in. We introduce ourselves and come. We have a lounge in Aiken, and just really start sharing ideas again. Look at some things that they do. And that's the thing. It goes back to we don't want to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
So if they're doing something that's working, then maybe it'll work here.
We did draw some inspirations from the Madura room. Of course, we have our chicken man pictures that we got from Mike, and
Chicken man.
we
had
look around
thousands
at
of them for years.
we look around at different shops when we go in, and to get some ideas. One of our favorite shops when we go down to Mobile to visit my dad is Havana Ray's. They've been open for a few years now. Great little store down there. We love it, and we go there every time we're there, and we get ideas from them too. Sales and specials, things like that. Just whatever we can do to bring in more customers.
Now, and a cigar shop that I go to, and I know you guys have been there too, and it is I go to Burt Shop,
Mm-hmm.
Peaceful Henry's.
Yeah.
And it's Bluffton Cigar Bar. which is the one and the same. You know, cigar bar on one side, cigar shop
Mhm.
on the other. It's all in one place. Bert has spent a lot of money and invested a lot of time and effort into his shop. Made a really cool place out of it. It's just really cool, and that's just something. His is a great example of starting out, you know, in your lane
Mhm.
and increasing it as you grow and you get more people involved.
Right.
You know, I mean, he's done a great shop now in our shop. I mean, we've just maxed out our space.
Right.
I mean, we've maxed it out.
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't fit a sheet of paper in that joint, you know, but it's just, you know, eventually, you know, something might come where we, you know, get a standalone or open another location in
Right.
Lexington or something like that. There's been some discussion of that, you know, but no definite plans, but, you know, it's again, you know, our shop has been in business for 14 years.
Right.
And this year, and, you know, you're starting off and you're growing and growing and growing.
Mhm.
You know, we have so much repeat business and, you know, so many regular customers, walk-ins, or, you know, people that are members that come and hang out. It's just, cigar community is just, it's not like anything else you've ever experienced.
Right.
You know, the camaraderie, especially in our shop, and I'm sure here as well, the camaraderie is just so good. You know, people get along, and, you know, even if something, you know, tragedy strikes in life or a situation strikes in life and you're in need or in need of help or anything like that, you know, before your own family will show
Yeah.
up and help out, those guys are already
Oh yeah.
on the move.
We've actually seen it firsthand. We had one of our customers here. He's a local State Farm agent, and Stan the man, as we call him.
Not Jake.
Not Jake. Jake works for Stan. But Stan, you know, he'll come in here and he'll help people get better deals on their insurance and whatnot. And one night, one of our regular customers, his starter just fell off of his truck, and Stan gave him a ride home. He lives about 35, 40 minutes from here. This was late on a Friday night. Stan gave him a ride home.
I would say he got his money's worth.
Yes,
Well,
Yeah,
he
that's
wasn't,
right,
even,
so
he wasn't even a
it's-
State Farm customer at that point. But it's just because, you know, a person was in need, and we've had that happen with other things. A person, you know, having vehicle problems or something going on. We got several mechanics that come here, and they're like, just pick up the parts and I'll take care of it for you. You know, so you're right. I mean, these are people that are stepping up and doing things that even when your own family may not be able to come to your assistance. This is an extended family.
That's right.
We've been grateful. We got early on. We established a regular customer base, and we have our regulars that have been coming since we opened, and it's great to see those, and then they bring others with them, and it just grows from there. So you know, we have our growing pains, but we're looking forward to seeing 14, 15 years as well. So assuming we're all still around.
I think you definitely will.
And
Let's,
assuming there's no crazy federal regulations imposed on our cigars, so that's what we're closely watching a lot of that right now.
We'll come back to that.
What do you think about the cigar?
What do we think about this Esteban Carreras Bronze Cross cigar? John, you go first.
This is one of my favorites. It does have a little bit of spice to it. It's, you know, medium to full body, so, you know, it's got a lot of flavor to it. And, you know, our price point on it is very reasonable. And
$10 on that.
we just started carrying it about a month and a half ago, so we're still, you know, getting people introduced to it. Because in this area, we found out there's certain brands you just don't see in this area. Some of our best sellers is the Christoph. You know, we sell a lot of Christoph. But with the Esteban, again, not a lot of places down here are carrying it because there's very few shops. Getting people turned on to them. So people that know Esteban are very familiar with the Chupacabras, and they'll go to that first. So we're trying to get them to try the Bronze Cross, because when it comes to a good medium full cigar, to me this is one of the top.
Crystal, what do you
Well, to me, I think this is, while it's rated at a medium to full body cigar, for my taste, I think it's more along the medium line. It's not the everyday full body that I prefer to smoke. I'm the type, I like the double the Harris from LFD, I like the NAS from LFD, and the pissed off Christoph. So I like the really full-bodied cigars, but this is really good. It is, even though it has those notes of the spice and the pepper, it is still really smooth, has a really good, consistent, easy draw on it. It's not packed really tightly, so you're not fighting with the cigar through. So I really like this one. I do recommend this one to people. I first tried it when our rep came in and gave me a free sample of it. I do try them before we bring them in to kind of gauge how well it's going to sell. So.
We'll discuss it again later in the show and give it a rating of 1 to 10. Don't do a Money Mike Falls and say, I like 7.1. 5.2. It's a half or a whole.
7.1 and a half.
0.5 or whatever. Well, you give it the rating that you want. I fuss at him about it all the time. I'm giving him a hard time. You give it the rating that you want. But my opinion of it so far, I would consider it more on the medium body side because I'm a full body smoker. But there are medium body cigars out there that I do enjoy smoking. This is a great cigar. I smoked this cigar a long time ago. I just didn't remember what it was like. We do carry Esteban Carreras in our shop. I don't think we're currently carrying this one, but this is a very smooth cigar. You do get a little hint of spice and pepper off of it. It has a good even burn, a nice draw. It's available here right now in Aiken, South Carolina. If you're in this area, come in and see John and Crystal. They have them readily available on the shelf. It's priced very well. Now, what sizes do you have available?
Right now, this is considered
This
a
is
Toro,
Toro.
and then we have a Figurado in it as well. It comes in a couple other
It
sizes.
comes in the Torpedo and the 660 as well.
But the key to that is carrying the desirable sizes
Right.
that people
Right.
expect to buy when they come in your shop. And every little shop is kind of different. You know, some people will want a Bordeaux with 660 where they even expect a Figurado. Figurados are a little more expensive and they're harder to roll. But, you know, it's all people's individual likes and tastes. And you guys obviously try to cater to that. You know, you're expanding your available product here and your brand lines, you know. So, and you have actually grown more since, you know,
Yeah.
you first started out. And like I said earlier, it's a process, you know. As you gain more customers, you gain more, I don't want to say notoriety, but you gain more notoriety, you gain more customers, you gain more exposure.
Right.
That draws people in, and you start making more money. You invest a little more, you can get a little bigger. Now, I don't think it will take you guys, you know, another couple of years, you know, to start wrapping these cabinets around the building. You know?
Yeah.
But and then you got to figure out, you know, your space and that sort of thing, which is what we've had to do. But you know, you guys are on that steady pace of getting there, and you've done a great job of making a comfortable lounge and a comfortable business. And you were some of the nicest people I've ever met, some of the most honest people I've ever met. So this is a great place to do business in Aiken, South Carolina. If you're in the Augusta area, the Aiken area, or you know, just the surrounding area, or if you're just coming through, you know, you happen to see the cigar review, and you're just coming through.
Yeah, we're 8 miles off of I-20.
So
So,
I mean, it's convenient, you know, and there's local conveniences around you as well. So
Right.
I mean, somebody that's traveling and going
Oh,
down
yeah.
I-20, say they want to get off and come in and, you know, they've got to go to Sam's or they want to get something to eat or something like that, you know. If you want to relax for a little while, stretch your legs, come in and have a cigar, you know. But this is a great place, and, you know, you have a great vision for it. You had that plan since the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, now, what are you guys' future aspirations to go forward?
So, short goals, by the end of summer, if not before, we do look at expanding our product line. So we're getting some more cabinets. There's been a short delay on that because of the lumber prices, because all of our cabinets are custom built out of Florida. And so some of the Spanish cedar and some of the stuff that's needed for that is a little hard to get right now. But hopefully by the end of summer, we'll have at least 3 more cabinets, which will expand our product line tremendously. We did a 1-year lease initially at the location we're at, and we're getting ready to do a 3-year lease because our options were 3, 5, or 10. And we're doing the 3-year because what we would like to look at is at the end of 3 years be at a point to where we may look at a freestanding location. Because what we're seeing is we're probably going to quickly grow out of this space. We've even explored of getting maybe one of the spaces next to us and expanding the lounge that way. But for the amount of what it would take to do that, we would almost be better off looking at a freestanding location, something to where we could have an outdoor patio and, have like barbecue once a month, or maybe open mic night or something to draw in more crowds on different nights of the week.
More options.
More options.
A little freer in what you can do. And
Right.
Right. I mean, here we are limited on space and what we can do. We like to try to take ideas from our customers, listen to what our customers want.
Mm-hmm.
If we can do it, we'll do it. The same goes with the cigars. We have customers that come in, can you get this? If we can get it, we'll bring it in and we'll start carrying it. A lot of times those end up being cigars that sell really well.
Yeah, because what one person wants, other people may not
Exactly.
want. Right. You look at it and you look at it as a glass half full. Instead, say, okay, if this person's wanting it, we have other customers that'll be interested in it.
Right.
And they'll want to smoke it. So you give it a try. If it doesn't work out, then, it just doesn't work out, you
Right.
move on to something else. But, customers will be, they'll be
It's
blatantly
hard
honest
because
with
there's so many really, really good cigars out there, and you can't bring all of them in. I don't think there's a store that would have room for every single cigar and every line, every vitola possible. But it's hard when you want to have it all, have it all available.
You probably have half the state of South Carolina building that.
Yeah.
So, now, John, you, both of you guys have worked in public service of some kind. Pretty much has been your career.
Yes.
And then, a few years ago, I don't know exactly how long, but I remember you and I talking at the brewery room about you taking this job at the college. So now you're teaching here at Aiken Tech.
Yes.
And, you go in there and you guys excel in everything you do, which is really impressive. And that's why I had no doubts your shop would be a success. But, you've excelled, in the college scene. Do you still plan on doing it, or do you guys intend to do this full time at some point?
Well, we're actually in a unique position right now. I do foresee staying at the college for at least a few more years. But Crystal changed jobs last March, right as we were opening. She's doing the same thing, she's just able to work from anywhere. So she can be here during the day doing her work, and then our son, Austin, is actually working here now during the day. So he helps run the shop during the day with her here as a manager, helping, getting the product ordered and making sure the day-to-day operations are going on. Then we have a part-timer that picks up some of the evenings and Saturdays, and we're going to be opening back up on Sundays here by the end of the month. But being able to work at the college during the day and then come down here some evenings, come over on the weekends, especially Friday evenings. We're all here until closing on Fridays because we kind of have like our little social night that we do called Freaky Fridays. And with
now tell the people about Freaky Fridays and things that you do, because you guys have giveaways.
Right. So when we first looked at a night that we wanted to kind of have like the social night of the week, because the Maduro Room had Thursdays, stayed open later. We were there religiously, until had to stop due to the pandemic. But we didn't want to impose on that. Plus, we still wanted to go to that. So we picked Friday night because what we found down here is a lot of people like to do things on Friday nights. So we started staying open later on Fridays and Saturdays. And from 5 to close, which we say 10 is our closing, but it's more 10-ish on Friday nights. It might be 10:30, 11, 11:30. But from 5 to close, every cigar purchase gets a raffle ticket. And we'll just have different items each week. Usually once a month, around the end of the month, we'll do several different items. A lot of it's just swag that the reps leave for us, or stuff we've picked up along the way. And you'd be surprised how many people will buy a bunch of cigars to win a hat.
No, I don't.
And I
I'm
mean,
not surprised.
But they're doing it too to support us, and we know that, and we appreciate it. So Fridays, we open on a Friday. We started on a Friday, so Friday to Thursday is our week. So usually by Friday nights, we've made what we need to stay in business on Friday nights. So everything else after that point is profit to come back into the business to help us grow.
Now, do you guys post, like, just say you're gonna give away a nice lighter or something on Freaky Friday? Do you guys post that on social media? How
We
can
do.
people find out, how they can get involved?
So we're very active on Facebook and Instagram. So Iron Horse Cigar Lounge on both of those, and we'll put out that information. We also got hooked up with a company to help us with some of our marketing, and we actually have a text line. So if you text Iron Horse Cigars, all one word, 85100, you'll be opted into our system basically. So when we do have specials or events going on, we can send out a mass text to everybody, especially if we get a new product in.
You can stay up to date,
Yep.
notified.
Yep, and we do a lot on Google, making sure that people know what we're doing and what our hours are. But marketing's a very tricky thing, especially in a niche retail like this, because you want to see a return on your investment. And unfortunately, with Facebook and social medias, if you have tobacco, alcohol, or firearms, anything like that, you can't take advantage of boosting your post or getting the word out. So it's really dependent on our customers sharing what we put out, so
Right.
that way we get it out. We also do some on TikTok now, because we understand that some of the younger crowd, that's what they're into. So we can do TikTok lives here from the shop.
And
We
trying to
can-
just kind of keep up with the trends, stay relevant.
Absolutely. And
Now, what he means by younger crowd, he means by, people.
Of legal age to purchase cigars.
Right.
It has said, now, the federal government passed it last year. Was it last year or year before?
year before.
And they said they was gonna slow roll it, but they actually implemented it like
Very quickly.
almost overnight.
Right.
There is a loophole.
21. You have to be 21 to purchase any tobacco products, and that includes accessories too.
Yes.
From what I understand, 'cause I had that question asked to me by one of the other guys at the shop when all that was going on, and they said, well, we could sell them a lighter or something like that, and I said, no, you have to understand, it's tobacco or related accessories. It's
Yes.
cutters, lighters, anything. If somebody comes in, just say that they're 19 years old, 20 years old, and they want to buy a lighter for their cigarette or something like that, that they didn't obtain from
And
us.
that makes it difficult too if they're wanting to do it as a gift for their father or their
Parents,
mother.
or
Yeah. So,
grandfather or something.
Yeah.
It might be a pipe smoker or,
or
a cigar
they want
smoker.
to buy them a pipe for
You have to be 21. So we have to enforce that, and it's just one of those crazy bureaucratic things.
And what's difficult about that is, just like, the Maduro Room's close to Fort Jackson, we're close to Fort Gordon. And we get a lot of soldiers coming in here.
a lot of soldiers
that
are under 21.
Yeah, 18 to 20 years old. They're serving their country, but we can't sell them a cigar.
Can't
Yeah,
say-
I mean,
yeah,
it's-
I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, they can vote at 18.
But,
Don't give them any ideas, right?
but me and Falls, we discussed that, and I kind of went on a little rant in the past on my show about it. About that, these people can die, they can die for the country, but you can't let them have a cigar or beer
Right.
or something, And I'm not really much of a drinker, but, I think, with the drinking age, at 18 years old, the maturity level is probably not there.
Well, I joined the military at 17. I was in the National Guard, and
Having a cigar or a cigarette or something,
Right.
it's typical. I mean, they're gonna do it anyways. If they wanna, if they wanna do it, they're gonna find a way to do it.
well, what was bad is when that law changed, you had people that were 18 to 20 years old that were buying cigars. Some of them were members of cigar clubs
And hit a brick wall.
and hit a brick wall.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember Falls had even contacted me because our son Austin is a club member up at the Maduro Room. And he's like, man, I'm really sorry. But fortunately, he had turned 21 right before that passed. So he was still good to go.
So he was a shoe-in for.
But our daughter, she'll be 21 in September, she's in that boat. She's been smoking cigars since she was about 18, 19 years old. And which is, you know, a lot of people find unusual that females smoke cigars, which,
I know. My wife.
I'm a
does.
unicorn.
but I mean, even our daughters, you know, she got into it, but now she can't until she's 21. So now, I will say that our humidors at the house probably do get a little lighter from time to time, and I don't question where the cigars go. So, you know, if she's sneaking them, I don't, you know, I'm not
Right
going
now
to track
she's
them
like,
down.
oh, she's in
And my wife doesn't
California.
smoke cigars or cigarettes, or she doesn't use any tobacco or anything like that. But I've smoked cigars since I was a teenager. Now she will threaten to take them away from me, jokingly, from time to time. Jokingly, she'll threaten to take them away from me, and I just show her my phone and be like, "You have no idea the power that is held within this telephone. You just have no idea, you know." But it's not for everybody, but for the
No.
people that do it, a lot of people do it not only because they enjoy smoking cigars, but they do it because of the social aspect
Right.
of it, the camaraderie and that sort of thing. You know, I mean, we have, like, in our shop, we have a ton of veterans that come
Oh,
through
yeah.
that served in one branch or another of the military, or Coast Guard, or some type of military service of some kind. You know, and they ask us, you know, do you have a discount? We do for active military, but typically we will give them something, you know, they show us their card or service card, and, you know, we do something for them. you
Yeah,
know.
we do here too, especially, we even go as far as first responders, so if they're in any type of public safety, and that comes from years of us being in it ourselves, you know, we do a discount for both military and first responders.
So, I mean, we do the same thing, you know, if you're police or EMS
Mhm.
or first fireman or first
It's
responder.
our way of saying
And
thank
we
you.
get for people that serve in your community or have served their country. And we get a ton of those people that come in,
Mhm.
and I mean, you know, a lot of it is just because, you know, not only do they get a little discount, but they feel appreciated.
Right.
You know, because you always thank them for their service, they know that they're appreciated, they know that they're welcome. You know, I mean, just take a police officer or something that could have just come off the street from a call,
A really hard
you
shift,
know,
yeah.
and, you know, somebody gave them a hard time, or called them a racist, or recorded them on their phone, or
Right.
all of that craziness that goes on, you know, people hyping up silliness. Now, I'm sure some of that stuff does go on, but, you know, their average, everyday run-of-the-mill police officer is trying to earn a living, support his family,
Yeah.
you know, maybe they're having a rough day because people are treating them bad while they're in uniform and on duty, and they come in and you thank them for their service, and you're polite to them, and you appreciate their business, you appreciate their service. That makes a difference to them. And we go from there, you know.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, you're EMS,
Right.
you know, both of you guys, so I mean.
Oh, we've done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a
I
little
mean,
bit
we
of
started out in
everything.
firefighting, and then
So
was
you guys
EMS,
know how it
and
is.
Oh, yeah.
we both work law enforcement, and so, yeah, we've been there. And again, we get a lot, you know, and that's what I teach EMS at the college primarily, so we get a lot of the students that will come down here, especially after finals or a big test or something, you know, they pass, and they'll come down here, and again, the ones that are over 21 will come down here and have a cigar and, you know, maybe a beer just to celebrate, you know, their milestone.
Now, you're conveniently located because, you know, if you're having a rough day at college, you can slip out on,
Yeah.
on a break.
Lunchtime.
You can slip out, come down, have a smoke, and
Yeah.
just kind of chill out. And coming into a cigar shop, you know, it really takes, you know, some of the stress of the world off of you.
It does.
You
And
know?
you're talking about the social aspect. It was funny because this weekend, yesterday, I was up at Hickory Knob State Park, which is about an hour or so from here. And we had the South Carolina EMS Association Board of Directors retreat. And I'm on one of the committees there, I chair one of the committees. So we were up there kind of doing our strategic planning and meeting. And, you know, everywhere we travel, we always take cigars. And always giving cigars away. You know, for us, you know, it's advertising. You know, get people to, you know who we are. But I've done that for years. And, you know, we sat around Friday night after our strategic planning session, and we're sitting around and everybody's having a drink and smoking cigars, and it's funny because people would look at people in healthcare and be like, oh, you know, it's not healthy.
We don't inhale, we're like Bill Clinton.
That's right, we don't inhale. But the thing is, there's a lot of things that aren't healthy. You know, that's personal choice. But, you know, a lot of these guys, they'd smoke cigarettes or chew snuff or whatnot. And I explained to some of them, because they're like, man, you know, that must be expensive, you know. And like, I don't get up in the mornings going, man, I need a cigar.
I do, however.
I can
That's my first thing. My time with the Lord, and then my cigar.
I can go days without one. And that's what I tell people. It's like, to me, it is more of that social aspect of being able to sit around and, you know, kind of shoot the breeze with people and talk and socialize. And people don't understand that. But talking about giving away cigars, that was one thing they kept asking me. They're like, man, I feel like I owe you something. I'm like, no, man, just, you know, I kind of have a big supply of cigars. I can give a few away now and then. Which, you know, we pay for everything we get from the shop. That's just our thing. You know, if I'm getting cigars, we still pay for them. And so it's me personally giving them away. But when I was working on the ambulance, especially in Lexington County, you know, I worked the night shift. And so I'd get off in the mornings, and whoever my oncoming crew was, if I knew they enjoyed a cigar, I always had, you know, 5 or 6 cigars with me on the shift, and carried my pipe. So I smoked my pipe on shift. And I was always giving these cigars away. And a young man asked me one day, he goes, man, those things aren't cheap. And I'm like, oh, you know, $8 to $12. It's not a Cuban or anything like that. It's a decent cigar. He's like, man, why do you give cigars away? And I said, well, it's very simple. One of these days, I'm going to die. And I want at least a handful of people at my funeral saying nice things and actually mean it.
Hey, that guy gave me a cigar. It was, Crystal, what are you up to these days?
I stay
taking care of
pretty
Lamb.
busy with my full-time job. I am an emergency management consultant, and so that keeps me really busy working on disasters. We work alongside with FEMA to do the public assistance reimbursement, and it's a full-time job and a half, basically, most days. So that keeps me busy between this and the store, and finally making time in my schedule to get back to my weightlifting, and that's pretty much, and riding our motorcycle. We still enjoy doing that. Finally able to pick things up at the club. COVID really put the brakes on a lot of events last year. All of our chapters suffered a little bit there, so we're finally all seeing everybody getting out and doing events again, fundraisers, and that's part of our stress relief, a little bit of wind therapy on the weekends when we can. But you know, you're talking about the social aspect. It's amazing in the cigar, I want to call it a clique basically, because we're a small knit group really, if you think about it. But the backgrounds, the diverse backgrounds of people that you can meet in a cigar lounge and talk to, the stories that you encounter. We have a lot of veterans. We have a lot of nuclear engineers that come in here, and we have people from the Savannah River site that they come in here quite often. It's just so nice to see so many different backgrounds of people coming together over one tiny little piece of tobacco.
And I've said this before on my review that, you know, when the cigar community comes together, you know, financial, social aspect, status, all that, it stays at the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When those people, you know, congregate together, typically, at least in our experience, you know, they can just be themselves. They don't have to be professional this or advocate for that or a supporter of this or that. They can just
cigar smokers.
be them. They can just be themselves.
Well, and we've seen it. We've had the guy that's a janitor in here sitting at the table with the guy that's a project manager at a nuclear power plant. That's a nuclear engineer.
Having the best conversation.
Just talking like, you know, they have everything in common. And religion and politics is another thing that we leave at the door a lot of times, because we're like, everybody has their own beliefs, everybody has their own ideas of what should happen, and we just tell people, we're like, come in here, have a good time, smoke a cigar.
It slips into conversations every now and then, but everything stays really civil, which is good.
Number one cause of argument: sports, religion, and politics. Now, I'm a believer, you know, but I don't force it on anybody. If you bring it up to me, we'll discuss it. But, you know, and that's why I said early on, and I've repeated it several times, you know, like Falls and I both are believers. You know, we don't bring religion or politics or anything like that, social issues or anything generally.
Right.
And to the show, and it's all because I wanted, when I started this show, I wanted to make it, just totally about cigars.
Keep it neutral.
Nothing else. When people,
Right.
if people care to watch it, or if you're in to watch it, then, for the 30, 45 minutes to an hour, you're getting away from anything being pushed on you.
Right.
Whether through subliminal message on TV or, general discussion or anything like that, and you could just talk about something that people are passionate about.
Right.
And just focus just solely on that. This is just one thing that, you want it to be just about cigars, the cigar industry, cigar community, just those things.
Right.
You leave there's other times and places for other things, but, on my show, it's just about tobacco.
Yep.
So.
And here, as well as, we notice at the Madurum too, doesn't matter who you are, you walk in that door, you are welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And we want that atmosphere to always feel welcoming. And because we had that when we first started going to the Madurum, and we brought that atmosphere with us because.
And you want to make people feel welcome, because you have no idea, who they are, where they came from, or what they're going through in life. But that one day that person, male or female, enters, your lounge, and they feel welcomed by somebody, they feel like they're accepted, they feel like, hey, this is a place I can come and relax, When you go outside that door, the world will beat you down.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come inside the door, the cigar community will pick you up.
Yep.
And that's really the way that it works, at least in our shop. And I'm sure other shops, because you hear so much about other shops. Oh, we got a great shop. We have customers come in from out of town, they'll tell us about their shop.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's great people there, it's always fun, But coming full circle in the conversation, you mentioned you guys, enjoy riding motorcycles
Mm-hmm.
and that sort of thing, and you're even involved in a club,
Mm-hmm.
and have been involved in a couple of different clubs. But you named your shop appropriately. You named your
Yes.
lounge appropriately, Iron Horse.
Yes.
So tell us how that came to be.
So she mentioned the club. We're the founders of the Iron Medics EMS Motorcycle Club, and we founded it a few years ago. We focus on PTSD awareness for first responders and trying to help first responders in need.
And you've done a lot of work over the years with that.
We have, yes. And so kind of sticking with the motorcycle theme, we call motorcycles Iron Horse, But we also looked at this area. It's kind of a play on a couple of things. Irons, thinking of golf. We've got a large golf community, especially being so close to the Augusta National. And then horse, because this is a very large equestrian area, and you have the steeplechase and all kinds of other horse-related events that go on down here. So we kind of tying the two together. So we have a lot of motorcycle enthusiasts and other clubs that come down here and hang out. So it's not a biker bar, but it is a place that a lot of them will ride and, feel welcome, if they want to come in.
They like cigars too.
They do. And, last week, the week before last, we did an event called Bikers for Riker. And Riker's a 4-year-old that was in a serious incident with his stepdad and had to have some brain surgery, and he's got a long road to recovery. But his mother works in EMS. And so we all came together and was able to raise several $1,000s for her and her son to help her while she's off work with him. He's currently in a rehab facility in Atlanta with the Scottish Rite, getting some rehabilitation because he doesn't have much use of his left side right now. And but we had over 48 motorcycles out there. And we had law enforcement clubs, we had veteran clubs, we had fire clubs, we had just people that love to ride motorcycles that were out here and came out to support the event. So when we do stuff with our club, having the business, it gives us an area to where we can host fundraisers and things like that. And we are a 501c3 nonprofit, so we're able to do some things that normal businesses wouldn't be able to do.
All right, well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Let's give a rating on this cigar. John, we'll let you go first.
I give it a 7. A good solid 7.
I'm gonna say about an 8 because, like I said, it's really smooth. It has a good draw, great flavor to it. I'm gonna give it an 8.
I will go along with Crystal and give it an 8 because I think it's very smooth. You don't always smoke a cigar that's blended well enough to be so smooth
Right.
and palatable while you're smoking it. Construction on it is good. Presentation is good. Blend is actually really good. For a medium body cigar, this is a cigar that I would buy and smoke again. I do like some of the Esteban Carreras stuff.
No, I love Esteban.
But this is a really good cigar. It's made very well. It's represented very well. So I would give it an 8 for sure. I would recommend that you come see John and Crystal at the Iron Horse in Aiken, South Carolina, and purchase yours if you're in the area. And any further comments you guys want to add?
No, just
Tell them about your hours and location, exact location,
Yep.
so they know where to go.
so it's 145 Jefferson Davis Highway, which is right across from the Sam's Club in Aiken. There's a little strip mall down here. We have a going postal shipping place next door. We have massage. We do have a new business coming in next door that is going to do hair and nails. So if you ladies want to come down and get your hair and nails done while your husband.
Drop your husband off
come
at
over
the
and
man
have
cave.
some cigars.
Yeah, we'll man sit for you. So, but Monday through Thursday we're open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays is 10 to 10-ish. And by the end of this month, we're going to be opening back up on Sundays from 1 to 6, especially with sports coming back on. People want to come in and watch the game. We do have a couple TVs in here, getting ready to add a few more.
Sounds good, sounds good. And I wish you nothing but success in the future. This is a great place. This was a great opportunity for you guys to open up in Aiken. It was much needed, much needed. And I think you're going to do very well. You're obviously growing exponentially from when you started. So come visit John and Crystal at the Iron Horse Cigar Lounge here in Aiken, South Carolina, across from Sam's Club on the Aiken-Augusta Highway. Jefferson Davis Highway, Highway
Whatever
1.
you call it.
500 names for it, but it's on the 4-lane main drag through town. Come and see these guys, great people doing great things. And that'll do it for this edition of Casa de Stogies Cigar Review. Thanks for tuning in. Me and Money Mike will be back with other episodes coming pretty soon. And remember to pray for Riker. He really needs your prayers right now.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out, Travis.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you.